Yes, welcome once again to the Tuesday edition of the Unspoken Truth, Which Way Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is the program where we dig deep into the issues affecting us as a people, as one nation. And today I can actually say it on the show that it's no ordinary Tuesday. This is the very last day in the month of September. By tomorrow, we'll be saying, yeah, happy new month, October 1st. The nation will roll out the drums. Yes, we want to celebrate because tomorrow we can say Nigeria is +1. And, as we look forward to the flags, the anthems, and the speeches, we should actually take a pause, and ask, independence after 64 years, what are we celebrating? Have we truly become independent in the real sense, economically, socially, politically, or are we still tied down by poverty, inequality, corruption, and leadership failure? Think about it. Children still learning under the trees. Families are still struggling to feed. Young people keep running abroad in search of greener pastures. Yet, tomorrow there will be parades and fireworks with Independence Day, just a few hours away. It is actually, that's what I'm saying right now. It is the perfect moment to reflect. Where have we come from? Where are we now? And most importantly, which way forward for Nigeria? And of course, all of these talks will be coming to you right here on the People's Station, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. I'm your host, your radio nighttime partner, and my name is Diola. Now, you already know that this space is where we look at the issues shaping who we are, like I said, not just as individuals, but as a nation. And if you've been following us close enough, you would understand, of course, you will be aware that Tuesdays are about, societal issues. We shine the light on those societal issues shaping our lives. And together, we ask the very hard question: which way Nigeria? We keep asking which way, where are we heading to, what's the way forward? And I say this on the show always, that it's not about politics, it's not about the government per se. It's about you listening to me. It's about our families, our future. It's about Diola personally in the studios, and that's why your voice matters so much here. Well, tonight, can I tell you that we want to look into a matter that affects every single person, every single one of us. Whether you're sitting in traffic, you're listening from your living room at home, or you're just tuning in from your workplace, welcome. What we want to talk about tonight is something that affects every person in the country, and that is the economic inequality in our country. The painful reality now is that the rich, let me break it down, the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer. So tonight, I've come to ask on the show because I know tomorrow we want to celebrate Nigeria is +1. But which way, Nigeria? Which way for us? Like I said, this is going to be a very, conversational talk tonight. It's going to be very interactive. So as we go along, I want you to share your experience, your views, your thoughts on what we'll be talking about tonight. I want to hear from you. So you can call in via the studio line 0700 903 903 903, or you can reach us via 0803 692 9933. You can as well send me your messages, your opinion via the studio WhatsApp line 0817 175 6338. Or you could join me right now on YouTube. Just join the live stream right now at Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and there you can share your thoughts. Okay, let's get started because we have so much. I have so much to share with you on the show tonight. Let's begin with what we all see every day. Remember what we want to talk about: economic inequality. The fact that the rich keeps getting richer, the poor poorer. Yes. Gone are the days where we have, three social status. Now it's either you're rich or you fall in the lowest class in the country. And that is because of how the country economy has turned out to be. Like I said, we'll start from, with what we see every day. December is around the corner. I feel like just 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. And, for the wealthy, December means traveling abroad, shopping sprees, your children flying in from foreign universities, parties that cost millions, if not more. And company bonuses that could feed a whole community. But for many Nigerians, December is a season of stress. A factory worker has to calculate how to stretch 1 month's salary. Tell me, if you look at it carefully, if you look at it deeply, isn't that oppression in the lower class? Is that not oppression on the masses, on the majority? Ad hoc staff in banks, retail, or even government agencies work tirelessly. Yet, many of them are denied their bonus. Many are denied fair pay, and sometimes they are even owed salaries. Now, the same festive period that brings comfort to the rich brings hardship to the poor. Now, let's even go back to Easter and Ilia celebrations earlier this year. I'm heading somewhere, and so you have to go with me carefully. You remember how food prices were increased during that period? And while the rich families ordered meat in bulk, stocked their freezers with a lot of things through feast, the poor were left struggling to afford even a small portion of chicken or beef. In fact, I can tell you for a fact that many families, substituted with fish. They couldn't afford meat, ram, yes, that they killed during Ilia period. Others even substituted with egg, and some could only manage plain rice. Same country, same holiday, but two completely different realities. Now, if you think about the allowances and workplace inequality, in many offices, you see the executives, they drive SUVs, enjoy air-conditioned offices, collecting housing, travel, clothing allowances, that when you sum everything up, it is going to millions of naira. Meanwhile, the junior staff who actually make the organization function are paid wages that can barely buy a bag of rice in the market. In some banks, you see full-time staff enjoying health insurances and bonuses. And the contract workers be staying with them, working beside them, doing the same job, are paid peanuts, are dismissed at will. Now, how do you explain that? Is it fair, or is it simply oppression disguised as business practice? Let's even look at poverty alleviation programs. You know, government after government after government after government announces billions for social investment. They come to us. They tell you, yes, they've budgeted a lot of money for youth empowerment, for women entrepreneurs. We see the billions allocated in the news. We hear about all of these programs. And when they're about to make, the celebration of these schemes, you see the ceremonies are usually flashy. They spend a lot of money to cover the event. But when you ask the ordinary people in that community if they received anything, the answer, I know, the answer is silence. The answer is no. Capital N-O. Yes, the funds are approved. Budgets are allocated. But the money vanishes into private pockets, into thin air. And in some cases, only a few selected groups. In fact, often those groups, they are often connected to the big men in the country. They are the ones that benefit from these schemes, from these programs. So the majority, the real poor, the lowest class in the country are left untouched. Now, you now ask yourself, because I've been wondering, I keep asking, if you're talking about putting in place poverty alleviation programs, who is the poverty program really for? If the grassroots are not even enjoying what you say you've put in place for them to make things better for them, then who exactly are the poverty programs really for? They say government are giving loans. Yes, so apply. They will do this. They will try to set you up. They are sharing palliatives. Even going as far as releasing billions, like I said, for empowerment programs. But ask yourself, yes, who is collecting these funds? Where is it going to? Where? Because I've searched around, and I really can't say. I can't see it. So it's the same story if you ask me. Approved budgets is somewhere, but the allocation is not even getting to the grassroots. The poor, the money is supposed to lift out of hunger, out of poverty, don't even hear when this money is shared. Instead, middlemen, top forces, they hijack them. Now, I'm not asking, isn't that suppression and oppression on the masses in broad daylight? Which way exactly for us? And even in education, let's move into that sector. Even in education, inequality is staring at us in the face like this. You're looking at it, it's looking at you back in the eye. Rich children attend private schools with air-conditioned classrooms, interactive whiteboards, and foreign exchange programs. You're seeing a lot of, interesting things. While children from the lowest class in the country sit on broken benches in overcrowded classrooms with leaking roofs. Sometimes they share one textbook between 5 students at the end of the year, both groups sit for the same WAEC exam. How is that a fair play? How is that a level playing field? How? In fact, healthcare is another brutal example. I think few weeks back on the show, we talked about the country's health sector, and we asked on the show where the claimed budget has been going to, what the claimed budget is used for. And I remember us saying, when a rich man falls sick, he flies abroad to London, to Dubai or America, all of those, countries. And the poor man goes to a government hospital where beds are scarce. They tell you there are no beds. Nurses are overworked. Patients are told to go and buy their gloves, their syringes, their this, their that. Now, many people die not because the illness, what was wrong with them, was incurable. No. But because they could not afford the treatment required. Now, that, if you ask me, is not just inequality. It is injustice. Let's now come to the very one that seems like the world is coming to an end. Yes, because anytime we talk about this very one, it feels like there is a burden on Nigerians. You can feel it that, no, Diola, this is serious. This is extreme. And that is housing. The same story. Rich people buy up land, buy gated estate. There is private security. While the lowest class, the poor, are pushed to the edges of cities, to flood-prone areas. I'm talking about places that when there is climate change and it's looking like, yes, we are heading into the rainy season, you begin to pray. The Lord is our shepherd. God keep us tonight. Even if it's going to rain, preserve our house. You know those prayers that we make when the rainy season is knocking on the door. Yes. The poor are pushed to areas like that, to slums without clean water or even proper sanitation. Now, when flooding happens, ask yourself, think about it. Who suffers the most? The poor, right? When demolition happens, who becomes the displaced persons? The poor. And let's not even forget about corporate greed. Yes. Companies declare record profits every year. Shareholders, they receive their dividends. CEOs, they get their bonuses. Yet, the very workers who create the wealth are told there is no budget, so we don't think we want to increase salaries for now. There is no money. There is no this. But you keep increasing your allowances, feeding allowances, transportation, health insurance, this, that. Workers faint. I'm telling you, workers, while working on site, they faint at factories from stress and hunger. Contract teachers are owed salaries, month of salaries. Hospital cleaners work around the clock but cannot even afford healthcare themselves. How does that make sense? How is that even possible? Now, when you begin to look around, you now ask yourself, is this just greed? Can you call it greed? Or is it just an attempt to slowly squeeze the poor out of existence? And don't even forget when the price of, things is unstable. When prices, becomes inflated. when the price of fuel, when it jumps up, food price, that one increases. Transport fare, it increases. The very first set of individuals to feel it are who? The lowest class, the poor. It is the poor who feel it first. The rich will adjust to the system and they are okay with it. And it's beginning to look like we are comfortable with, how everything works in the country. They may buy more shares or, move money around, but the poor have to cut costs. Okay, usually we were buying, say 2 jerrycan of rice. When things change, when the prices are inflated, now we have to settle for 1 jerrycan of rice in a family of 5. You have to cut costs. The poor feels all of this first. Now that, if you ask me, is oppression in slow motion. And I'll tell you what this does to a nation, what it is doing to our country. It is killing hope. People keep wondering, people are asking, when is it going to get better? Is it eventually going to get better? It is killing the hope of the masses. You see a young graduate, talented, ambitious, wanting to do something to make a life out of, what he has for himself. Someone who finishes school and cannot find work and is watching others with, little skills getting great jobs because they have connection, because they have contact. Now, that frustration is heavy. Left unchecked, it turns to what? Anger. I'm telling you, frustration, when not checked, when something is not done immediately, that frustration will lead to anger. Now, that anger becomes unrest. You're not okay with how things are. You're not stable. A lot of things are going through your mind, running through your mind, and you're wondering, what do I do next? You are unstable. Anger becomes unrest. Unrest becomes instability. That is not a threat from nowhere. It is the predictable result. It is what we've seen. It is as a result of leaving millions of the masses, mostly people in the lower class behind. And don't even let anyone tell you inequality is inevitable. That yes, Diola, there's no how. You definitely see this. You definitely see this sector. It is made by human choices, and that is why I'm saying it on the show right now that these choices are what we can change. When you bring something and we accept it, of course, it becomes the order of the day. But when you bring something and it is just what it is. We have to know our right. We have the power to change certain things, to change the path we are heading to. Now remember, I want to take you back a little, just a little. There was a time when this statement was, what was trendy everywhere. People keep saying it. And what was that statement? There was that statement, let the poor breathe. Yes, let the poor breathe. But the way things are going in this country, it is more like, because I thought about it over time. I thought to myself, and it's looking like the system doesn't even want the poor to exist anymore. Because if you look at it very well, you look at it deeply. Hey, increase in fuel price today, increase in food price tomorrow, school fees of your children tomorrow. Oh no, in 3 days time they tell you they've added so amount. House rent, uncle. It is like you want to pay for the wall of Jericho. Everything is becoming excessive, it is becoming extreme. And I can tell you for a fact that Nigerians are surviving by sheer willpower. And what amazes me even more is the fact that, despite all of these things happening in the country, despite all of this, Nigerians keep pushing. People find ways to survive, to smile. In fact, for that resilience, I must say kudos. Yes, kudos to every Nigerian listening to me that has not given up. You see hawkers on the streets, even if it's just selling, sachet water, selling, just snacks, just because you don't want to give up. You see them on the street, hawking, market women trying to save a few naira every day, taxi drivers working 18 hours, some even work nights. Mothers are doing 2 jobs, running 2 jobs. Fathers are taking loans just so they can see that their children don't drop out, just to keep their children in school. I must really say that our resilience deserves respect, and I'm going to say it again. Kudos to every Nigerian listening to me right now for not giving up. But we should ask ourselves, we must still reflect. How long can a man hold breath under the water before he drowns? How long? And tonight I've come to tell you we need to reflect, and I really want to understand. I want to know. Have you, found yourself in a situation where you were underpaid or denied your allowance while your superiors, lived in luxury? Have you heard of billions allocated for poverty programs, poverty alleviation, yet your community saw nothing? They tell you, oh, this grinding machines, this basket, this are for your community, yet you saw nothing. Inequality in Nigeria, if we keep talking about it, for you, is it simply just greed? Or is it a deliberate plan? Is there something else, something beyond it, more like a plan to suppress the majority, the masses? And most importantly, do you think this can change? And what is the way forward? Which way Nigeria? That's what we've come to ask on the show tonight. Well, so much have been said on the show tonight. I've said a lot. And can I tell you that we'll soon get to the time where you get to be a part of the conversation tonight, to hear from you. But remember that you can reach us via 0700 903 903 903 or 0803 692 9933. I'll take that again: 0700 903 903 903, or you want to call 080 36 929933. Remember that you can also send me your messages, your opinion via the studio WhatsApp line. The number is 0817 175 6338, or join me on YouTube. Send your messages to the comment section on YouTube. Join the live stream at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. But we'll dive into that in a moment. But we need to take a quick music break. And when we come back, Nigeria, I'll definitely hear from you. But I'll leave you with the voice of Sonny Okosu. And the title is Which Way Nigeria. We should reflect on that one, because of course tomorrow will be +1, but we need to ask, where were we, where are we coming from, where are we right now, and where are we going to? Don't go nowhere. I'll be back. Yes, you're still listening to Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and welcome back from that music break. We just listened to Sonny Okosun's song titled "Which Way Nigeria," and there were a lot of messages passed. And I'm quite shocked because this song has been sung for ages, back in the days, and as at that time he was already asking which way Nigeria, and years after we are still asking which way Nigeria. But this is still the unspoken truth, and this is our Tuesday edition, Which Way Nigeria. My name is Diola, and I'm your radio nighttime partner. But you've heard so much from me tonight. But before we step, into the court of public opinion, your opinion, because this conversation is not complete without your voice, of course, there is something I also want to, talk about on the show. Talking about economic inequality, oppression on the masses, let's even talk about a recent case that happened sometimes back, where it was reported that over 800 workers were dismissed in that firm, and they were replaced allegedly by foreign nationals in what union claims was an attempt to weaken employees' voices and avoid unionization. Now think about it. If a company rather operating in the country in Nigeria dismisses local workers and brings in foreigners under the guise of we are trying to make a structure, restructuring or sabotage prevention, for the people you've dismissed, it is not only about loss of income, it is about loss of dignity, loss of hope that they and their families depend on. So you see, when companies do this, they are not just cutting costs, they are reshaping who gets stayed and who must struggle. And at the end, people who struggle are what? The lowest class in the country. Now, many of our listeners can relate to this, that, working as an ad hoc staff, like a contract staff, doing essential tasks, they can relate to what I'm about to say, because they are always on the margin when it comes to getting paid or even getting benefits. I think in Lagos now, after the July 2025 local government elections, many ad hoc election staff claimed that their allowances and payments had not been made even after a month. Some presiding officers said they were still waiting despite doing their work. And I think the Electoral Commission last year responded then by saying that all verified ad hoc staff had been paid and only a few outstanding cases remain due to incorrect bank details. But the point is clear. If you look at it carefully, the point is the public hears unpaid staffs. Why are they not paid? Why do you delay their payments, their allowance? Why do you deny them of the bonuses they are entitled to get? And this leads to, protests, demands, frustration, anger, instability. Whether everyone was paid or not, many workers now feel like they were left behind. They are left behind. And this happens over and over and over and over again. Contract staff, temporary workers, people doing unseen work. Their salary is called allowance, stipend, words that makes it sound like it is negotiable or it is optional. And can I tell you that when you connect this dot, everything I've been saying on the show so far, when you put it together, mass layoff in the big industries, unpaid staff allowances, companies shutting down, budgeted funds not reaching the poor. You talk about poverty alleviation, yet it is not getting to the grassroots, the people these programs are meant for. You begin to see something that is not just random but systematic. And I ask, is it greed? Is it that some individuals just want more profits, more comfort, more power? Is it suppression? Because by denying wages, by denying jobs, job security, denying access to money and opportunity, you are pushing the large group, you are pushing the lowest class to the edge. You make them weak, you make them dependent, you make them fearful. And when the system tolerates this, when laws are even weak or unenforced, you start to wonder, is the system denied to even let many? Is it designed to let the masses suffer so the few, so the rich can remain strong? Now I want you to speak. Of course, we are heading into the segment where you get to be a part of the show tonight, because of course, this is what is affecting every single one of us, including myself in the studio. If you have worked as an ad hoc staff, a contract staff, were you underpaid in your community? Did you ever get, the poverty relief funds that the states usually say they allocated to us? If you've lost your job because company tried to do some restructuring, I want you to come on the show and share your experience. And if you actually still believe that, yes, things will improve, but you are disappointed at one point in time, tell us on the show what exactly is the way forward. Which way for us Nigerians? Because at the end of the day, we are not just talking about the struggles of today, we are talking about the future of us Nigerians. And tomorrow, I've been saying it, tomorrow the nation will be marking another Independence Day. So I want you to pause and ask yourself, independence from what? From who? And for how long will we remain independent only on paper, while Nigerians remain dependent on luck, on connections? We keep praying for survivors. How long? So wherever you are, you're asking, how do I be a part of the show, Diola? Yes, the numbers to call are 0700 903 903 903 or 08036 929933, 0700 903 903 903 or 0803 692 9933. You can send me your messages on WhatsApp 0817 175 6338 or join me live on YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM to share your thoughts. Now remember that when you join the show, you tell me your name and where you are calling from. And who is my first caller?
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, listen, this is Diego.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we are where we are because
we are because
I said we are where we are because the so-called rulers have succeeded in dividing us. You understand?
Okay.
They have divided us alongside religion, alongside ethnic group and whatever, and they have. It is a very good plan, and they have succeeded in it. That is why we are. That's why we are not one. We cannot fight them because it is the league against the poor or against the populace. That is what is happening. Because I have sit down to think And I discovered that Nigerians are the easiest people to rule or to govern. Because if you need water, you got dig borehole. You need light, you got buy generator. You need that's you want your children to go to school. You put them in a private school. You pay the fee. You need to treat your wife in the hospital. You even go to if you pay. That's we are not. Just give us the normal. That's the normal. What they call it. You just give us good road. Give us good school, good hospital. Give us power. That's electricity. We're not asking for much. All these are they're not rocket science.
So
we are not asking.
Nigerians are the easiest people to rule.
They are the easiest people to govern because we don't ask. We are not anything. Or just the normal the basic amenities is all we are asking. They cannot just the basic amenities, and yet they cannot provide it. What kind of wickedness is that? I begin to wonder what is our sin? What did we commit that these people are wicked enough like this? You can imagine.
Well, so it's a whole lot, if you ask me.
So let God help us in this country because it's only God hand we are hoping for. Because for these people, it can never change. They only grow worse and worse and worse.
Okay, I wouldn't want us to say that. Okay.
Well, that is the truth.
No, I wouldn't want us to say that. It won't get worse. Okay.
It won't get worse.
It won't.
When they have succeeded in dividing us,
it won't
and we cannot fight them. So how do you think we are going? That's
why I said that it has to do with our orientation. The change we want starts from us, right? Start from you and I. So if we said it will keep getting worse, then that's not a good thing to say. You know that, right?
I understand you, but it starts from you and I, because. But yet we don't agree with each other. We don't agree with each other. They have succeeded in dividing us. Yoruba man believe that the Igbo man and the Hausa man is a problem. Igbo man believe that Hausa man and the Yoruba man is his problem. While Hausa man also believe that the Igbo man and the Yoruba man is his problem. We don't want to come together to agree that the people who's our problem, our number one enemies are the politicians. That is the problem.
Okay, can you do something right now? Hello? Okay, I need to emphasize this on the show right now. Please, when you want to make your comment, let's be civil, okay? There are some things that are not permitted to be said on the show, on the radio. So please, let's go easy with our comment. I understand where we are talking from. I can feel it. I understand what it is like to experience all of these things I've been talking about on the show. But please, let's be civil when we want to make our comment. Hello?
Yeah, Adiola.
Good evening.
My own person.
Good evening to you. I'm doing very well.
How was today?
My day went well as well.
Yeah. See, our country is a very good one.
Okay.
Sometimes people do what we call firefighting. We don't have issues in this country. The thing is that all the ethnic groups in Nigeria, the major ethnic groups, whether they are Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, they have had opportunities to make this country great, but they did not. You know why I'm saying that?
Well, you tell me why.
Let me start from the time of, we only need one thing in Nigeria for this country to keep moving forward.
And what is that actually? Because that's what we need to hear on the show.
What Portugal did, strong and powerful electoral reforms. Simple. So that after each election, the right candidate will emerge without stress. And once that is done, every other problem will fix itself.
Okay.
The right leaders have not been emerging in Nigerian political circles. after elections.
Hmm.
Rather, candidates are being imposed right from the grassroots of local government to the state, even to the federal level. Let me take it from here. When Jonathan was in power, more than 95% of Igbos were ruling.
Hmm.
I'm an Igbo man, typical by myself. I was born and bred in Igbo land. A typical Igbo man with full-blown Igbo blood in me. I was watching the situation. I was living in Abuja at that time. Everybody was trying to grab something for himself.
Okay.
Nobody was talking about seaports, these institutions. And let us build a seaport too. Let's build this one in case we were just going for contracts, wearing big suits, big clothes, and all the rest of them. How many people talked about, let us have electoral reforms this time? That any time anybody contests election and he wins, nobody will deny him. How many people talked about it? Nobody talked about it. Because people are quick to grab power. After power, they say money. Right? Because I'll tell you, because I'm a consultant, and there's one Italian adage that says that power is sweet. Sorry, sex is sweet, but power is sweeter than sex. Power is sweeter. Yes. Love making is something that turns the brain of people, both man and woman. But I say power is greater than love making.
Intoxicating.
Yes. So they have had opportunity. Obasanjo had opportunity to make it work. But because of having interest in third term, he said, the president should appoint the chairman of INEC. How can president appoint chairman of INEC? Can you appoint a chairman as a president and the president come and announce something against you? Is it possible? The president would like to rig election in your favor. That should have been the duty of maybe National Assembly to appoint electoral chief.
Right.
Because they are there to represent us. They are our representatives. It's not the job of one single person. Like now, the present administration now they want to appoint somebody from the southwest, and the president from the southwest. How now do you expect that INEC chairman to relate the result against the person appointed? Where do you say that can happen before? And the courts have nothing to do with our election. Whenever there's election and results are being pronounced, and so let it be. Let the courts and lawyers go and sit down. We don't need them to come and begin to tell us who has won, who has lost. Once the result is being pronounced, let it be like that. If you have the correct electoral reforms, like now, say let us do it electronically, that once we vote, the result will go by IRF. So whatever we do by electronic transmission, that's our result. Simple and short. There's no wasting time fighting one another, going to courts. I'm even very much ashamed of Nigerian courts. I don't have respect for lawyers now, unlike before. Like if I take a recourse of what has been happening, the way Supreme Court has been keeping quiet over some issues where they're supposed to do something. I feel somehow worried. Well, like maybe all the institutions of power, like INEC, like a military, like police, like the National Assembly, have all defected to one party. Nobody wants to say, like Ganifa in those days. Gani will say, no, he will stand on it no matter what you do for the truth. So that's it. People, once we get that thing correct, electoral reform, say, this is what we want. If you want to go for election, go for election. If you win, you have won. If you have lost, you have lost. Once we put it in place, we don't have to fight anybody. Don't fight the president. Don't fight the tribe. Don't fight anybody.
Right.
Don't fight for electoral reforms, that this is what should be, that results must be transmitted electronically. So as we are voting, we are watching the whole thing right in the bedroom. And you are seeing the whole thing like that. So that even before the vote ends, you have known the winner. It's as simple as that. And everybody goes so. Then I say, how can the politicians allow that to be? The Igbos have had time to do it. They didn't change it. They enjoyed the time of Jonathan, making money, going for contract. Obasanjo had the time, they didn't do it. And Yar'Adua was only person that would have done it, but unfortunately he died. He died. Because he even said it himself, that the result of the election that brought him to power was full of flaws, mistakes and lies. I like that man for that, right? So you see, Obasanjo did a lot for Nigeria. I'm telling you, he did a lot. Though when it comes to this issue of petroleum sector, I think he regretted what he did with NNPC. He would have commercialized the NNPC like LNG we have today in Bonny. This is a liquefied natural gas plant built by Abacha. If they took that step, where Nigeria government has 49% shares and the private partners for 51%, like for NNPC, today there would have been that cancer eating the NNPC. As we have suffered today. If you check all the projects government has handled in the past, and they all failed. Because of what? There's massive corruption that is embedded in civil service. Even Satan cannot root it out. The only thing that can root it out is maybe what you call it PPP, this public-private partnership. Coming to do work so that government, the contract is not for bribery. We want to deliver service to the people and we enjoy it. So we embrace public-private partnership. So as simple as that. So that the contract will be started and then the work will be done and service delivered and the cost of service recovered. Lagos State government did it here with BRT buses. And within 14 months thereabout, the loan was taken another 14 months. The whole thing was paid in full. And that was the loan that was taken to be paid under 18 months. They said within 14 months, they paid the whole money in full. Right? So, but that is it. But nobody should be blaming tribes or whatever. Let all of us insist on one thing. I read a book by one American author. He said, eat that frog, Ventrusia. If you have 10 frogs, eat the biggest one. The other 9 will die naturally when they don't see that big one. So all the problems you're having centers on leadership. It doesn't matter whether the person is from north or from south. Once we get that leadership correct, Nigeria will begin to move forward. And how do we get it correct? Is by having powerful, transparent, and reliable electoral reforms.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, we heard a lot from the last caller. Like, he went into details. But, based on what he said, a solution to what we are talking about on the show. Is there a time in this country that we are going to see a transparent electoral, reforms? Is that a time where we are going to see a fair electoral process? Okay, hello.
Good evening, Dela.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, God bless you.
Amen. God bless you too.
Yeah, my name is Matthew.
Your name is?
Matthew.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah. The last call actually spoke very well.
Okay.
You see, we have been having problems in Nigeria right from the First Republic. It's not only today, but the only thing is that it's becoming worse. Yes. If we can create good electoral college.
Matty, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Can you do something for me right now?
What is it?
Please tune down the volume of your radio set so we can hear ourselves clearly, okay?
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can now. Much better.
If we can develop good INEC, where the National Assembly actually should appoint INEC, this will work well, just like what that man said. If I am the head of the house and I appointed you to come and wash plate, you can't disappoint me. So let INEC be appointed, not by individual, but by Nigerians. Because National Assembly is by Nigerians. They represent us.
Okay.
So this is my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good
God bless
night.
you.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a couple of messages before we head back to the calls. This one is saying, preach on Diola. Preach it. VOP always saying it as it is, courtesy of their cerebral staff. Thank you so much, but you didn't leave us with a name. Prince Adelis is saying, good evening, Diola. You're doing a great job. Rich people are making more money while lower class are struggling to survive. They should allow lower class to breathe. Solution is, when it's time to vote, we should vote for good leaders that will rule this nation with God fear in them. And that's coming from Prince Adelsi. And on YouTube, we have a message. Bukasin is saying, good evening. Oh, I did great. Good evening to you, Bukasin. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. Good evening to you.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you clearly. Good evening.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
I think. Well, you can try to connect with us again. Hello? Hello? Hello, good evening. I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Okay, we can hear each other, but try to connect with me again on the show. Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Good evening. Are you there? Okay, let's see if this works now. Okay.
Yeah,
All
listen to the second back.
All right. Thank you so much. Good evening.
Even I still remain on my stand. It says power is given back to the people.
Mm-hmm.
The things will control the way. Even with your election reform or whatever.
Yeah.
The day they will tell you that there was a glitch, that was this, that was that. They will impose on you the people that somebody that the people is not, or somebody that people. So when power returns to the people, they will be the one to decide. They impose on someone on them, they will refuse. That is it.
Thank you so much.
So the truth remains that they have divided us, that we cannot be together, we cannot be one to stand against them.
And that's where the problem is coming from.
That's the bottom line of everything.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me try to rush up some messages that we have here. This one is saying, good evening, my name is Aisha from Ikeja. Honestly, what's there to celebrate 64 years and people can't even afford food or fuel? Independence feels empty when ordinary Nigerians are still suffering. Hello?
Hello. Good evening.
Please tune down the volume of your radio set.
Yeah, I'm done there.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, Viola, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being there for us, the listeners, even while people
Thank
are
you.
sleeping.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I also commend VOP.
Hmm.
It has been our radio since they came to, the airwaves.
Hmm.
They've been turning out a lot of programs that keep a lot of us somehow addicted to them.
Hmm.
Commend them. Going straight to the point. The first and second person that spoke, the two last people that spoke, yes, they
Yeah.
said, well, like what he said, we're being divided. And that is a tactics from the ruling elite to keep us divided by tribe, political affiliation, religion, and all that. But what baffles me is that we are not opening our eyes to see the reality of what is on ground. Because when you look at these people that divide the masses
Mm-hmm.
on this line of ethnicity and all that,
Yeah.
up there, when they want to grab power, they don't look at those things within them. So if you look at them, even the present composition of them now, you have different tribes, different religions, joined together, different even political affiliation. The only thing they do is they move from the other political parties they have even criticized before. They move and enter in order to grab, while they sow that seed of discord in the populace and in will I say naivety or ignorance or sheer stupidity. I don't know that word whether it is allowed. Sheer stupidity by the masses.
Mm-hmm.
We tow that line and we use it and keep ourselves down. Let me tell you one thing. The book of Genesis 11 say because they have agreed and imagined a thing, who can stop them? The ruling class understand these things, that when we agree, there is nothing we cannot achieve. So they keep on keeping us in disagreement by scattering us with those, line of religion, ethnicity, and all that. While up there, they unite themselves irrespective of all that. They don't look at that. They kept on doing what they're doing. That is number one problem. Number two problem, yes, we are talking about electoral reform. Is very, very good, very, very key. Very, very key. But let me tell you why the thing will not work. It is the ruling class that will allow the electoral reform to take place.
Okay.
And when they know that if it takes place, it will stop them from grabbing power anyhow, they will work against it. If you look at the composition of the three arms of government we have today, you can see their attitude towards things that will promote fairness in electoral reform and in many other things, so that they will perpetuate themselves in power. I want to give you an example. When we had Humphrey Musu during the Fedeco period, when Babangida was in charge, though he was a military man, and he came out with that electionary process, he never knew that somebody like Humphrey Musu would be forthright, not even being fearful of the military.
Right.
He conducted one of the best elections. And now people also forget something. That best election, how did it come about? It came about because people had one mind. Abiola that came up that period, I don't want to throw a very long line about how Abiola came in.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of disqualification, SDP and as a disqualification till you get to the time that Abiola now and Kingibe and Tofa came. And Babangida was like, let me not keep disqualifying. People may begin to understand that I don't really want this election to hold. When Abiola emerged, because of his philanthropy, because of his, other things he was doing, a lot of people liked, Yeah, people liked him. People liked him. This one we are calling ourselves, we call it Bodizi, but that during that period, quote me, everybody pulled along Abiola, whether Igbo, whether Hausa, yes, regardless of the tribe and even the religion. Abiola was pure Muslim, ardent Muslim, promoting Muslim, activities, even to the point that some of us also were feeling jittery. But that did not stop because people saw something good in him, and we wanted a change up from the military to a civilian, and we felt that.
Hello? Oh. Well, thank you. I just have to say thank you for your contribution, the last caller. Thank you. It's sad to see a lot of things happen in our country currently. But can I still remind us that, I say this every time on the show, every Tuesdays, that it is even beyond politics when we come to talk about these issues affecting us. And that's why we talk about it. We break it from the perspective, we analyze it from the perspective of how it is affecting us as one people. And that's why I always say it goes beyond politics, because I see most of us are trying to talk about the leaders, the government, this and that, and that's quite understandable. But just so we understand that the show is beyond politics, okay? I don't know if time is going to permit us to still take on more calls, but let's see if we can still take some messages from the WhatsApp portal. Sir Osadebe in Lagos. Well, it's still politics related, but let's just do this. So the Osadebe from Lagos is saying, "Good evening, Diola. This night I challenge the government and APC to openly and transparently appoint an INEC chairman to succeed Mahmoud. This will help bring some degree of credibility to the 2027 elections. Alternatively, let at least 4 leading political parties nominate one candidate each, and let the NUJ, NUT, NMA, NLC, TUC, and IOD select from these nominees. That way we can have a slightly independent chairman of that body without any known link with the ruling party. Let us for once do things the right way." Okay, a message from Chuka all the way from Surulere saying, hello Diola. For me, independence still means hope. No matter how bad things are, I believe Nigeria can still rise again if we have the right leaders. So the question now is, how do we get the right leaders? Okay, let's take this one. Calling from Yaba saying, "Good evening, Diola. My father always told me Nigeria used to be better after independence. But today, with insecurity and unemployment everywhere, I don't think we've moved forward." Well, so many messages to still, read out, but I'm sorry we might not be able to do all of that because the time is fast spent, and I'm also sorry we might not be able to get on the phone lines anymore for those that are still calling. I'm deeply sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. Before I call it a night, Victor Chukwemeka from YouTube. Good evening to you too. Yes, we've had so much to say to ourselves on the show tonight, but the time to go is now. But can I actually say something on the show before I call it a night? The unspoken truth, if you ask me fairly, is that, if inequality continues, it will not just hurt the poor. It will destabilize the entire nation. I'm telling you that this is a very serious issue. Hunger knows no tribe. It knows no tribe. It has no respect. Poverty knows no religion. It doesn't care whether you're a Christian or Muslim. It doesn't care whether you're a civil servant or a public servant. It doesn't care whether you are working in a private organization or a government organization. Frustration respects nobody. So, if inequality continues in the country, it is not just going to hurt the poor. It is going to destabilize the entire nation. There will be a time where what we are praying not to see is going to be. And so as we step into another Independence Day tomorrow, let's reflect deeply. Freedom is not just about raising the flag. It is not just about, singing songs, celebrating here and there. It is about raising the standard of living for every Nigerian. You are in Abuja, you are in Lagos, you are in Kano, you are in Kebbi. Anywhere you might be as a Nigerian, freedom is about raising the standard of living for every individual, every Nigerian. And so when we ask which way Nigeria, the answer is in our hands. But I pray tonight, may God bless our country, may God bless Nigeria. Yes, Lagos, Nigeria, can I tell you that tomorrow is another day? You want to join me exactly at 9:30 p.m. here at Voice of the People 90.3 FM for our Wednesday relationship talk, and guess who episode of the Unspoken Truth. We'll be diving into relationship discussions. You know very well how we do it every Wednesdays, and that segment where I become your love messenger. I call your loved one, your partner, your fiance, your boyfriend. I call them on the show, deliver beautiful message to them. I read to them the message you want me to read to them. I read to them, and the twist is they will have to guess who the sender of the message is. Now, I say this all the time. Do not tell them to expect a call. So, it comes as a surprise. They're excited. You don't know the reaction to expect. And most especially, I say it every time that if you don't have mind, if you're not so sure of yourself, don't come to me. So tomorrow, ahead of tomorrow, if I think there were some guess who messages I couldn't, read, call last Wednesday. So just bring them tomorrow on the show. And of course, I'll be calling your loved ones on the show tomorrow. So get your sweet guess who messages ready for me, because of course a lot of persons will be surprised tomorrow on the show. Also follow us on our socials at Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. And this is the voice of Diola, your radio nighttime partner. And I'm saying to you, stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and do have for yourself a lovely night of rest. And happy independence in advance. Bye-bye.